I can send it to you later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so this is what are we playing? We're playing Aurelion Sol versus Kassadin. Okay.
Yeah. I was just thinking like so I guess I skipped the champ select part of it, but
Mm-hmm.
um I was just thinking like, oh, Aurelion Sol gets to scale for free against Kassadin in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
And currently I feel like Aurelion Sol is probably a stronger scaling champion. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got an early kill.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel that as well. I played this matchup recently and it felt, yeah, like I wasn't really worried about
Nice.
getting outscaled at all. I do think the
No.
start here is pretty weird from you,
Yeah.
like the Ruby
Yeah,
Crystal.
so I talked about that. I was like, I wanted to just get broad as fast as possible, but yeah, my friends, we go back and forth on things.
Yeah, I
Go.
think that like if you really did just like want to rush out Rod as soon as you can, I think it'd be better to go Mana Crystal refillable because like
Mhm.
you want to have like mana to, start getting stacks in the lane. And also I
Yeah.
think like yeah, I can maybe see versus Caston that you feel like you just don't need anything. Personally, I still think it's better to go Doran's Ring and then have like more control over the lane. But if you really
Mhm.
did want to go to the start, I think yeah, mana crystal and refillable is better because this is like you could go this if you were like wanting scaling versus some like assassin that's gonna all in you at 6 and you just want to get like catalyst as quick as you can, but it doesn't really,
Mhm.
I don't know, it just doesn't really make
Feel that way.
sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Me and my friends are. I don't have a strong refusal to take starting items, but I do find myself doing that a lot. Of like, I'd rather just start with weaker items because then I get the stronger items. Like if I get filled as like ADC, I'll start like sword with refillable most of the time.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty normal on ADC. I think the thing is like you if you can get away with the greed and not like lose something as a result, like that's good. But I think you'll find that like eventually the problem is you will lose more by starting, a bad item than you gain from
Yeah,
having more scaling. Like if you end up losing CS as a result or being forced to base, like that feels like really, really
yeah,
bad.
and I do see that especially like when I'm playing with my friends of needing the actual starting items for the extra health and mana regen and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so waves pushed in. Okay, so this would maybe be the first thing. So let's talk about kind of the early game. First, I think like it's good to think about like what your goals are for the early game as like whatever champ you're playing. And I think ASOL it's
Mhm.
like basically stack slash farm as much as you can, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
Like you don't really want to fight that much, but you just want to
no,
gain stacks. Um, and so I think like yeah, I mean, you've got the first rate, you've got the mana flow. So you're definitely just playing for scaling. I think one thing that's like real important is to get in the habit of trying to check like where their jungle starts at level 1. Because
yeah,
you can maybe not in this lane because it's Kassadin and he doesn't have great gank setup, but normally, you should be expected to get ganked mid quite a lot. Um,
yes,
that's just like kind of how mid lane works,
yep,
unfortunately. So the easiest way is just like at level 1, like right now, just like look at which lane leashed. So like you can see Tryndamere started top and their bot lane leashed bot because they're not in lane. So that means like their
yep,
jungler's on this buff here. And so pretty much that just means that as long as you like play towards like the top side of the lane and then you ward top side a bit later, like you should be completely safe. So like right now, honestly, yeah, like I think you're fine. You're playing to that side. Um, I'd say right now though, you should probably you have two choices. You can either start leaning to bot side and then just ward over
mhm,
this wall to keep yourself safe, or you can try spot out the jungler on top side and ward there. But at some point here, you need to place a ward. So like at
yep.
2:30,
And it's like
basically like place a ward and hug to it because this is like when you really start to be in danger, I
mhm.
guess.
The first thing that I noticed with Shyvana was that she doesn't have hard CC, and with
Yeah.
Aurelion Sol's W, I felt a lot safer, like without words because I can just like walk, I can just fly away from her.
Yeah, I mean I can like
But
maybe agree that like in this game
but
you're not super gankable, right?
mhm,
But the problem is like did you consciously think, okay, like I don't need to place wards because I'm up against Cass and Shyvana? Like,
Shyvana, Yeah,
Yeah, if
and I did think that in this case, but I do think that generally I don't go, oh hey, I just pushed in the wave, I should go ward.
yeah.
So I think that is a good
Yeah,
thing
because I
that I
think
do need to work
if you
on.
have like justifications for it, like reasons that you didn't do it, that's like actually good because it means you've thought about it, right? But if it's just like
Yeah.
you didn't do it because, you're lazy or whatever, then that's definitely bad. Okay, so yeah, this is like
Here,
kind of
here I
it's
thought I could get the cannon with E before, but
yeah.
it's okay.
So I think like definitely on cannon waves, it's best to like just start by autoing down the cannon, rather than the
Yeah,
melees, because that way, yeah, like it's much easier to stack off of. Um, I think as well, like you have just missed a fair amount of CS, right? Like
a
this is,
lot. Yep.
yeah, and I think like
And
on ASOL, you pretty much just need to CS like with autos until probably like level 6, and then after that, like your CS thing should be easy, because you have enough like AP and points in your
yeah,
abilities that you can kind of just like blow up the wave and not really think about it again. Um, but like I think, one thing I say this almost every session, but I think like just spending say like 5 minutes a day in practice tool is a good way, just like last hitting, is a
mhm,
really good way to get better at it because like it matters a lot, right? Like if you have less CS, it really adds up over the game, and a lot of the time in like ways you don't really see it, right? It might be that you don't. It might be like at 40 minutes into the game, you don't have enough gold to buy rabbit arms on a base or something. Like just
yeah,
over the whole game, it can really add up, and that means like you might be weaker for fights or whatever and stuff like that. And then here, so now like the problem is you're very low on mana already, right? Like you're
yep.
basically completely
Because I've
owned.
just been
Yeah,
queuing a lot.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean I think like the queuing for stacks thing is probably fine, but with like no mana crystal and with no Doran's ring, like you don't really want to be at this point. Like it feels really weird for
mhm,
Kassadin to be the one forcing you to base first, right? Because like what
yeah,
normally happens mid is like the person who's winning, forces the other person to base first. So that means that like you base after them, so you have like more gold when you base than they do, and they might miss like golden XP from like the wave dying under tower, right? But here
yeah,
it's like the other way around. It's like for some reason, Kassadin, who's like known for basically not being able to have any agency in the early game at all, is the one like forcing you to base early. And then another thing here is like if you are like going for this sort of like rush,
really.
it should
Yeah.
be that you probably take like futures market, I think, because like if you can't get catalyst on this base, it's like what was the point
Why
really of
even start?
starting this? Yeah, exactly. Because like,
Yeah.
look, you come back to lane and also just like bear in mind that you're the one again, like you're now down
Mm,
9 CS to Kassadin. And I would say that like this is mainly because of your start, right? Like you've started
mhm,
very greedily and sure you have more scaling, but like you arguably have less scaling because you've fallen behind. So
yeah.
I would say that in general, I actually like futures market on ASOL anyway, because I think picking up Catalyst really early is good. But I think like
Yeah.
definitely look to start either like Mana Crystal plus refillable or Doran's Ring. Because I think just and
Yeah.
another thing is like yeah,
Oh,
just try not to base first unless you have to.
yeah. It
Because
was like
yeah.
that's something else I've been like more recently since me and my friends have been arguing about this. Tier has been really helpful because it adds that extra damage for autoing minions.
hmm Yeah, I mean you can look to start
It's been
tier if you want.
helpful for just CSing as well as a starting item,
Yeah.
and I really like Seraphs.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I would say you can start tier. Personally, I don't build tier on ASOL because I feel like
Mhm.
I want to try to get like Row and Rylai's quicker, but like it's a fine item on it. It just depends like what you value really. Um, and then like let's say I think here you probably do need to be like a bit more patient maybe with your E
Yeah.
because like here, you demat the cannon, which is good, but I think it's like you should probably try and like get some of these creeps lower because these should be guaranteed
Yeah.
stacks, right? And instead it's like it doesn't really end
Nothing.
up like that. And also, again, it makes it like harder to CS because you have to actually like last hit them as opposed to your E just finishes them for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to be patient. Okay.
Yeah,
Which I
probably
do see
same
that
with
too. Like
here.
like this is the second wave. That's crazy. Like this is the second wave in lane, and I already have half the mana,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
which
ASL
is
does go through mana pretty fast, to be fair. But like, yeah, you're definitely not making it like easy for yourself.
no.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good.
It's like that was first stacks in for first strike gold.
Yeah.
But I like now seeing this too. I queue way too much. Like I just waste a lot of mana.
Yeah, well, I think like it's just like compounded. Like you have no extra AP, right? Because you don't have Doran's ring, so it takes you like
Yep.
longer to kill these creeps. And then yeah, like you have no extra mana regen. So yeah, I mean, I think personally, I pretty much always start Doran's ring on this champ. But like if you wanted to start tier, I'd say that's okay. But yeah, I mean, you're kind of seeing why people don't start like this, right? Because it does just come with a bunch of
They make it
negatives to
harder.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this is good. And I mean, honestly, once you hit level 6 as ASOL, I think the game gets so much easier for you just because, or more
Oh,
like level 7, because you just
yeah.
have like so much like mana and uh, like you do so much damage to the wave and everything. Okay, yeah, so you go to the Catalyst tier, back. Yeah, I mean, I'd say now it's like real easy. Yeah, exactly. You can just like EQ the wave. So I think like
Nuke the
trying to
wave.
reach this point a bit just like having more CS at this point because you've only got 40 at 7 minutes, and a lot of
Yeah.
that I feel like is just because basically you're a
And I know he
star,
doesn't
right?
have flash here.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's good.
almost.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You can let the wave get low. You can always TP back if you need to. Yeah, so here I'd probably look to TP back. So you end up
Mhm.
staying here for a while, but the thing is, it can be kind of a bait to stay in lane on low HP, and the main reason is that like you're on the map, but you can't actually
Pressure
pressure the
everything.
map. Yeah, it's like you're
Yeah.
here, but you're not actually here. And like if anything happens around mid, like let's say there's like a river skirmish or something, you were just completely
I can't
useless.
join it.
And it looks again
Yeah.
like really weird that Kassadin is just the one
Beating
in
me.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I actually, if I bring up, I think hold on, I'm pretty sure I have a replay of this exact matchup. Let me just see if I can find it. Where would I put it? Maybe in here. Oh, wait, maybe it's. Let's have a look. It might be one of these. This is ASOL versus. Oh, yeah, here it is. ASOL versus Kassadin. So this is a matchup I played. And if I just quickly like show you how this matchup went for me, like I think it'll be like really different to how it went for you, right? So
Mhm.
early game, like I have the Doran's ring. I was just trying to like stack on the wave kind of thing. Keeping my mana high. And actually, I think I probably do use Q a bit less than you. Like I think I try and see how I like try and order these creeps low, and then just like set
Yeah. And
everything
you
up.
spread out your autos too.
Yeah, I do still Q like a fair amount, but you'll probably see that my mana, remains a bit
It's like an
higher than
auto,
you.
yeah. It
Yeah.
looked like an auto attack reset more than anything else, or like an extra auto after your auto.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then I think this game I was trying out DMATs. I've since gone back to futures market, but like I mean DMATs are fine, right? It's not like a huge
Yeah.
difference. Um, and so like I mean I can actually upload this if you want to watch this video as well. I can send it to you if you want to watch the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I mean you will just kind of see like when I'm at my first base, like compared to Kassadin, it's like what
It's
kind
like
of state are we in? It's like I'm the one forcing him to base, and you can see it's like a 9 CS, or sorry,
difference the
11
other
CS.
way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like in my favor instead. And then, so I base with like, Catalyst Pink Ward. And what does he base with? He's got, let's see what he has. Yeah, so he's got a Catalyst as well. So we're basically the same, but I'm perhaps slightly ahead. And like, this is
Yeah.
now,
Well,
I feel like pretty strong, right? Like, I'm able to, now that I've got enough mana, I can like, blow up these waves. I'm the one that's like kind of pressuring him. You can see like
Mhm.
I'm pushing him under tower, and like I continue. I think if we go, like yeah. So like now, for example, if we see when I press tab here, where is it? So he's like 78 CS to 53, right? And I'm like upper level. So even though like we're both, strong scaling champs, I'm actually ahead. So
Way
it's
ahead.
like you don't
Yeah.
just because you're playing a scaling champion doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be behind, right? Which is like what's happening
Yeah.
here. So
Which
yeah.
I don't know. I think that was something else that I felt like even just watching that video was like the Kassadin in my game was a lot like closer up to the front of the lane and like more in my face than yours was.
Yeah.
Like yours seemed to give you a lot more space,
Yeah, I
even at
mean,
like the level 1.
yeah, it could literally be that he's just like, respecting more because, I'm like punishing him harder and like I have more mana and I have a stronger item. Like it all adds up, right?
Hmm.
Um And yeah, like again, this looks really weird because it's like he is the one like forcing you to flash away, right? That feels, really bad. I think like you're probably, yeah, I guess you agreed for the cannon.
As a class for the candidate, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly. Yeah,
But I think like honestly, like all this, I don't really care about all this. I more care the fact that like you didn't TP back, right? Because like,
yeah.
whatever,
Because
wasting
I
your
have TP
five.
this whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole point of TP early game is basically to allow yourself just to have really nice bases. And like, okay, if you didn't TP
This
back
one is a really
before, I
pretty
can
base. Yeah.
kind of understand it. But like not TPing back now is just like so greedy. You're like actually one health. I guess he just like, yeah, okay, actually just
Yeah, and,
kill
and
me.
that was like a really greedy back too. Like I had my W, I could have just gone to the second tier turret.
Yeah.
I was like, I put a deep ward in bot jungle.
Yeah, and I think all this is like now it's actually quite hard for you to play the game because it's like you ideally want to just like walk up and EQ the wave, because like now you actually
Mm-hmm.
have the damage to do it, right? But the problem is that because you're so far behind,
Kassadin's.
he can always just like go on you. So I guess like
Yeah.
the main thing I want you to take away, I mean we've got a bunch of stuff already, but it's just like how important the early game is, and by like taking too much scaling a lot of the time it actually makes you scale worse just because you're just too weak to actually contest anything. Okay, but I mean you're actually in an okay spot. Almost have Rod of Ages. I guess like I'll just write down the like TP usage. Like again, your goal is to stack it and farm as much as you can, and your benchmark would be like, well actually, if we just go into this like game that I played before, like what CS and stuff did I have? So this was at like 10 minutes. I have 74
90.
stacks and 90
Wow.
CS. So like let's benchmark. What was it? 74 stacks, 90 CS, and zero deaths. I think that's
That's
really important. And if we go to like, what was your 10 minutes this game? It's like you have,
6. Yeah.
yeah, so you have like 20 less CS than me, you have less stacks than me, and you have a death, which is like, I can understand it, right? Because you've fallen behind. But I think all this is like
Yeah.
really avoidable for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then yeah, so we don't quite have the rower. Oh, did he die? Oh my god, so
No.
low. Wait, I
Nope.
didn't
He
even
doesn't.
notice that it shows like an execute thing for your E. I've never
Yes.
noticed that.
Yeah. It always has the health bar,
Yeah,
even if you like look at other people on the map.
interesting. Okay, so we get Roa. I mean, we're in a decent spot. Like your team's hard winning, so like you're probably fine. Oh, and this guy's not building Roa? He's building Everfrost. Interesting.
Ping my guy, just make sure.
I think here the E usage is like sort of bad. So using this E under tower, I think makes sense. Like you get 3 stacks, you get the CS, and then I think here
Mhm.
you want to just like delay DCS dying until you have E. So like there's two that you can't really get, but like now I think just EQ this wave. There's not really any reason not to because it's like one, if you're scared of Kassadin roaming, you kind of need to
Yeah.
push to bring him back, right? And two, it's like you just want to keep stacking. And so because like you don't use your E here, it's like you know, we basically went a whole cooldown cycle, I suppose, of not using it.
Without sacking. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you're kind of forced to use it defensively, but then that also means that you just like miss. Oh, I guess it's up in time, right? Yeah, I guess it's up in time. Okay, it wasn't too bad there. Yeah, I mean, as long as they die, get the stacks. But yeah, I'd say like at this point in the game, especially use your E basically on cooldown, right? Like just especially again, like
Hmm.
Kassadin's roaming bot, so you want to push this wave like as soon as possible. So just like EQ this, like yeah, as soon as you can. It doesn't really make sense what you're doing here because like you have the mana and you have like the
Yeah.
cooldown and
The
everything.
cooldown.
Yeah, this is annoying. Yeah, okay, but that's like pretty good. Like Kassadin went bot and just died. EQ the wave again. Like this is good. Yeah, like I think this is like quintessential ASO gameplay. It's like you stack on an entire wave, you get 6 out of 6 CS, and it should be like no trouble at all. And then you
Mhm.
just like look for base. Yeah, you go to Sork Shoes. I like that.
Yeah. With Sork instead of the Kindle gem.
Yeah, same thing here. I'd really try and make sure you get the cannon stack.
Cannon.
Yeah, so just like wait a bit, like even pull the wave up a bit and like maybe yeah, just like wait for it to
Auto
get a
it.
bit closer. Yeah, or auto whatever. Okay, this is all fine though. Um,
Oh, I think I barely just
yeah,
don't
she
get
is
her.
extremely low. I think. Hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah, obviously the ult misses. I think here you probably just start with E just to get the like small slow and then drop R
slow.
straight
Yeah.
after. Yeah, because like to be honest,
Yeah.
she's probably gonna ult out anyway. But like she
Anyways,
actually
yeah.
kind of greeted her ult here for a pretty long time. So like maybe it would have done something. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and then I think here, I mean, I can understand going for her, and like this is maybe one of those things
Because
where if you think
the
about it,
W gets a reset.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say
That's what I was thinking.
if you think like from your early game, right? Like let's just say you had like a
Mhm.
little more CS or you were just like a little more
Should be
fed. Like
dead.
yeah, you kill her dead,
Yeah.
right? So just like if you can snowball even even just by having more stacks, you might just kill her there. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of damage. AP Shyvana.
Yeah.
Okay, base good Kindle Gem. Hey, yeah, we've got everyone nearby. Yeah, you deal so much damage. It is actually so fun. I love playing
It's so
ASOL.
much fun.
Okay, so we get this kill. This should
As
like
100
100
gold.
gold. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yes. I
Jeez,
realized that after I was like, oh wait, my team's been doing pretty good.
that's actually insane. The fact you know 100 gold. Okay, yeah, this is all good.
I was like just barely
Yeah, yeah. I kind of
in range.
this does feel like sort of annoying on ASOL where you have to like cancel your W and then you like can't really
Or
chase.
just barely out of Q range,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think that's all good as well though. I mean, you're like doing good. Like you're 1-1-4. It's just like you could be doing like
A
way
lot
way
better.
better. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, actually, this is a little bad. So, obviously, let's talk about like mid game. So, again, mid
Hmm.
game, like as most champions, your ideal is to just like maintain like high CS and like, you know, just like golden XP is really important. Like, be at all the dragon fights. You know, that's kind of like your mid game goals, right? Just like keep farming, be it like the objectives. That's pretty much it, right? And so,
Yeah.
one like real important thing with that is to try not to share golden XP because like
Yeah.
so right here
This and this one I was uh he Udyr pinged the Herald, I think.
yeah I mean I think just like
Thought he
you
did.
can clear this wave if you want but like
Hmm.
straight after this you should
Leave.
either like base or
Go
go
top or top.
top or go bot or even like farm
Hmm.
raptors or wolves just like you don't need like 5 people in this lane because like they can probably do this without you and like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. You have TP as well. Like that's the thing. Is like you worst case if a fight happens, you can always TP back. And you can kind of think of TP in the mid game as like TP gives you like permission to side lane almost, because like your team a lot of the time, like straight up, they will just fight even when it's like bad to, right? But because you have TP, like you can always like get back to that
You have a
fight
number
and it's fine.
advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Or make it back to equal.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, like all this, like the fact that you've just been like grouped with your whole team for like, I don't know, like 2 full minutes or something. This is like really weird. And you guys are literally sharing this XP with like 5 people. Meanwhile, the bot wave and the top
There's bot
wave,
and top.
yeah, it's just like so much
Yeah.
gold. And I guess, do you actually end up? Yeah, okay, so I guess you end up going top. Okay, so here I would actually take these raptors. So when you get into the mid
Yeah.
game as ASOL, like you do camps pretty fast. So
Yeah.
like try to do camps, obviously they give you a lot of stacks, they give you a lot of gold. And I think especially if your jungler is like on the other side of the map. Like if let's say Udi is on Krugs,
Yeah,
you probably
he
shouldn't
just
take
took the
them.
Raptors.
Yeah, but like given that Udi is so far away,
Red buff.
like yeah, you might as well take that. Taking Scuttle's good though. Oh my god, look at all those stacks.
So good.
Okay.
Execute.
So close.
Right.
I think this is
He's
why I really like Riley's second. Like, it's so hard to actually chase people
mhm.
without your W up. But, I mean, we get the kill anyway. Baron. It's all good. You base after. Yeah, like, no problems with any of this. Um, I don't think you need... I mean, I don't know if you end up actually finishing this, but, like, looking at them, they
No.
don't really have any MR, so you don't really need Void. Like, third item, I would say is ASOL. You're pretty much always looking at, like, you know, if you're going Roa Seraphs, you're pretty much always at that point, either you go the Rylai's or you go, like, Rabadons, or Void if you need it. But, like, here, no MR, I think it's definitely just Rabadons, although the game probably ends before...
Well, I think what I was thinking too is that like the only person on their team who is scary is Kassadin. But the magic pen doesn't work against his passive,
No, it
does it?
doesn't. Unfortunately.
I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, because like the thing with Void is that like
Oh,
Void's
I
insane.
ended up buying. I think I ended up buying Rod.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, nice. Because Void is really insane if they have MR, but the other items are definitely better if they don't. Okay, this looks like a fat ulti.
Miss.
That's fine. Pokes their whole team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I hit a single ult this game actually. Like looking back at
Yeah,
this
that's
now.
relatable. I'm a QWE Aurelion soul. Okay, and then I guess you guys... Yeah, nice to take camps on the way out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so here, so I see the Shyvana coming up on Vision. I actually didn't see the Tryndamere.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I think I can just kill Shyvana. So I'm just like recalling seeing if she shows up, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Oh yeah, and then
And then the
just
Tryndamere
gets
pops up
you.
behind. No, I just kill them all running away.
That's nice.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, TV bot. Oh, we hit one ult. We hit Ash with it.
Yes.
Another 100 gold.
100 gold.
That's fucked, man. That's actually insane. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, the thing is, I feel like you've done a lot of the hard stuff well. Like, I feel like your team fighting is pretty good, and, like, for the most part, like, you've kept your CS up in the mid game. But the problem is, like, you made your early game just so hard for yourself for, like, no reason. And I think that's, like, real easy to fix, honestly. Like, if your early game goes a lot better, like, you end up 7-1-5 anyway, right? But if your early game goes even better, then you'll just be even more fit. So yeah, I guess we'll take a look at the second game. But I think like from this to work on, I'd probably just like I think like yeah, so like early CSing, especially like in the like first, I don't know, 6 minutes or so before you actually get AP, just a one-shot waves. I think that's like pretty important to work on. I think like starting like stronger items is pretty good, or even just like, yeah, I don't know, having more mana. Like if you're gonna go tier or mana crystal or Doran's ring, I like Doran's ring again for the extra AP, but
Yeah.
if you want to go tier, like I don't mind that. Just Ruby Crystal is not really the play.
Yeah.
Um, and like yeah, maybe a little. It's hard to say because again, like this was just one game, but it could be a bit of warding. Like that game, it doesn't really matter. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and then like in mid game,
Oh,
oh you go.
I was like, I'm pretty sure in the next video, me not warding was a big problem, but
Okay, yeah. All right, nice. That'll be good then. Good to see you get punished for it.
yeah.
And then in mid game, like try spread out from your team, especially if you have TP up, and then also like trying to do camps more and just like making that kind of like more efficient because there's definitely a
Yeah.
lot of camps that
I,
just like get walked past.
so one of my main friends that I play with, he's a jungler.
Hmm.
And so most of the time, he's like one of the better people on our team too. And so I don't normally take camps from him, or we play like 5 mans, and usually the camps are all the ADCs, and like there just isn't even anything for me to clear. So half the time I just don't even look, especially in solo queue, because I'm just so used to them just being gone.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
so
I
that's
can
definitely
kind of
a really
understand
good
that.
call out.
It does depend like what jungle champ it is as well. Like if you're
Mhm.
taking camps from say a Karthus, like that's probably not ideal, right? But if it's, you
Yeah.
know, like an Udyr, Sejuani, you know, just any even
Y-
like early game junglers like Lee Sin and stuff, it's good. It's
Yeah.
really just like those hard farmers, like maybe like I don't know, Kindred, Karthus, Evelyn. I would probably not take camps from them.
He normally plays like Shyvana or Evelyn.
Okay, yeah.
Those are like
Okay,
the
I
two
probably
main
wouldn't
champs I
take
take.
camps from your friend then, but definitely in solo queue, like you should.
Yeah.
Especially because like in solo queue, like the game is on you a lot of the time, right? It's like not
Yeah, very
up
much.
to your teammates. But anyway, let's like take a look at this one instead. This is Silas. Oof, that's a tough matchup. Very tough
Yeah,
matchup.
I realized that. I was like, so the of the my champion pool right now is like Silas and Aurelia, and
Hmm.
then I was like, oh, I've really liked um playing Aurelion Soul, so
Yeah,
I think he's kind of my other mage option. So I was like, I would have liked to pick Aurelia, but they banned Aurelia, so
yeah.
because I love the Aurelia versus GP matchup. It so feels
Okay, so
really
this
good.
game is like you cannot start anything except Dawn Shield in this matchup, or
Yep.
it's gonna be like literally unplayable. And I will say, just in general, as Silas, like you cannot be greedy because like your early game is so shit, especially in the
Yeah.
1v1. Like you got decent skirmishing, but your actual 1v1 is just horrendous. So this like has to be
I
like Dawn Shield or Corrupting Pot, but I would say Dawn Shield is like a lot
Shield.
better. And
Yeah.
also your runes are like really,
Of
really
greedy.
greedy. Like you
Yeah.
must have Resolve versus GP. It's like, and just like
I
again, like Resolve versus ranged as Silas. Like if you don't have Second Wind, like it's just gonna be impossible, pretty much.
Yeah, I really felt it this game.
Yeah, like this will be a game where you've got a ton of scaling, but you're gonna get too owned for it to matter probably.
Oh, this.
What happened?
Yeah. So we're trying to go after. We got first blood.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably just leave after you've used like all your passive stacks because you don't really contribute any more damage now anyway. And also, like,
Yeah.
if you can, you'd want to get some health back before lane, although maybe you don't have time. But yeah, obviously that's a
Oh,
pretty rough
I was
death.
like in our jungle, I was almost full health, and I still
Yeah,
had my pot.
like I guess like right, like one
Here,
auto,
I could have
two
hit
auto.
him
Yeah, I
and
guess if
just
you like
back
turn
off.
around right now, it's probably okay, especially if you had like
But
Doran Shield and stuff.
yeah, I didn't, and the kill got to my laner.
Yeah,
But I do
that's
know that
rough.
he was down Ignite.
Yeah, the one like saving grace for you, I guess, is that he has Cull instead of like
A better.
you know, something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, it's probably not going to matter. And also, again, like if you if you really wanted like a greedier start, there's probably better greedier starts. Like for example, you will
Mhm.
see sometimes Silas's start with like Dark Seal refillable. Like that can be an
Yeah.
option. I think it's not really good versus Gangplank, honestly, because Gangplank's like very
No.
strong early, but like Dark Soul refillable is one of the best like greedy options while still being like somewhat relevant because it gives you AP, it gives
Yeah.
you like the
And it
refillable
gives you health.
sustain. Yeah,
Doesn't it
so
give you
like
like 40 health or
yeah,
something?
40
Yeah.
health I think it is. It used to be 70, but they nerfed it. I mean, yeah, trades are actually,
That tower shot hurt
yeah,
so
before
bad.
the tower shot, it was kind of fine. I think also, like, most of the time as Silas, you don't really want to push the wave because,
Hmm.
like, at least not until like level 6 and stuff, where you can clear the waves a bit faster. Because the thing is with Silas, right, and with like most melee champions, is that you're very good at like chasing people down. Like, imagine you're a Silas or an Aurelia. Like, if the wave ends up
Yeah,
here, like you can chase them down the wave, and it's pretty easy, right? And also, when the wave's on your side, it makes you harder to gank. It makes it easier for you to CS, all that sort of stuff. But like pushing the wave like this, if you're playing a ranged champion, this is fine because like once this wave goes under, let's say you're Syndra or something, right? You can like Q him under
mhm,
tower, you can poke him. But as Silas, like now you just can't really do anything, and so now your wave is just like fucked for no reason, pretty much. So like yeah, I'm pretty sure this. If you ever look up, well, I'll write it down real quick, but early game again, like try keep like wave on your side. If you ever like just go to YouTube, like let me just go here and
yeah.
search like Silas versus. I mean, you could type Silas versus Gangplank, but I'm pretty sure Silas versus like pretty much anything. You would probably see like the wave control would be like pretty different. Although let's just look
Hmm.
at a normal matchup instead of Gangplank because that's definitely a. Let's just look like Silas versus Syndra, for example. Like here's one Faker playing it. Like yeah, this is like probably more like it. It's like he's got the um he's like started with the Doran shield. Oh, it looks like he killed him. What the hell happened here? Okay, we had some like really weird fight. But yeah, this is like kind of
Because they
more
have to
what
work
you're
their buff. Yeah,
expecting. Is like, the waves pushing to you, you're sustaining with Doran shield and second wind. And
yeah.
well, here he's getting 3 man. Okay, you don't want that to happen. But that's like kind of more what you're expecting. Because like when you're pushing up like this, you're very, very vulnerable. And again, you don't
Yeah,
really gain anything from it. Like a ranged champion can harass on the
can
tower.
poke.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can like really abuse like being level 2 versus level 1.
So, so in this case, like his wave is bigger than mine.
Yeah.
Um, so I can just let it crash here.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that one I just demetted to get the CS,
Yeah, I think here you
which is
just yeah, I mean getting the CS is fine. I think yeah, you just
uh,
gotta let this one kind of come to you and try not to trade too much. But once again, like your is fuck, so it's gonna be
yeah,
really hard. And like you're kind of expecting that as Silas, and I would say like you're you're not really expecting to kill people with Silas unless they make a mistake. And for the most part, again, like your goal is just to kind of wait for them to make a mistake or and just like keep your farm up. So like here,
yeah.
you're now very
Patient.
you have like very low health already. I mean, I guess you can grab this wave, which is not too bad.
I should TP. I should have not joined this fight, and I should have just TP'd.
Probably, but also, yeah, like I think you probably should, but at the same time, like it feels
Oh,
so
yeah.
base to base so early,
I was
right?
like, I think I thought about that too. I was like, if I demet the cannon and get any of the CS, I can base with because I only need 865 for
Chapter.
yeah, chapter. Thanks.
Um, yeah,
I
and
think
I
that's what
think
I was thinking about.
like this could potentially be a kill if you weren't like so low mana, right? Like I think here you yeah, I mean like if you have enough mana to W and to Q, you probably kill him or get like really close.
Yeah.
But again, like we're just so here. And I think if you do like that's another thing is like if you do start like a non-mana, like let's say you do start Doran Shield here, you just need to be like way more careful with how like you use your mana because you
Yeah,
don't want to end
definitely.
up so that again like you have no pressure now, right? Like he doesn't really need to be scared of you because like you don't have the mana to kill him anyway. So okay, now we got the last chapter, which again like if by starting Amp Tome you can get a like chapter really early, then this is good. But the problem is like 21 CS at 5 minutes.
It's a
It's like you could have just started a different item and still ended up with lost chapter at this time anyway. It didn't really like
yeah.
make a difference. But this looks good. This looks like a free kill.
Yeah, bots coming up to help.
Why is this guy so tanky? Okay, nice. So we get a kill. come back mid. Also, another thing I'll bring up is that most range matchups with Silas, you max Q instead of W because
Yeah.
it gives you more poke and it also just makes like farming waves a lot easier. It's normally like if you're going W, you're kind of saying like you want to just be like heavy trading by like Eing forward and Wing on them. Yeah, kind of like this. But I don't think this is like really a winning strategy versus GP. I mean, yeah, as you can see, right? So I think again, like honestly, I don't even think the play is so bad. I think you almost just like fucked yourself so hard with your
Mhm.
setup. So like this should be like Q max if it's ranged, or at least like 3 points Q. I think stronger early setup. Because like yeah, this
Yeah.
looks like I mean I can kind of understand why you'd want to do this because it's like you're higher or like you're same level as him, but he has like a huge item advantage over you. Like let's just pause. He has like
This.
Sheen, Crit Cloak, Longsword, and all you have is like the chapter, right?
Yeah.
And he just like one shots you.
Yeah. The crit. Does GP have like a crit like extra bonus like
Nah,
Yasuo
not
or Yon
nah.
or something?
Still normal, but I don't even know. Did he actually crit? He already just. I feel like he just did a million damage. I'm not even sure he crit, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like it's.
It,
Oh, I took a
mm,
lot of damage from the wave too.
yeah, I think it's probably like 100 damage from the wave, but I honestly think he probably would have killed you without it. Like, he just has Ignite and his passive,
Hmm.
and like Sheen with Q. Just does so much
Yeah.
damage. And like again, you're kind of like when we're this is like very similar. Obviously, Aurelion's pretty different, but Aesol and Silas are both similar in that they're basically trying to get through the early game, and then like once you hit one item, that's when like as Silas you're just insane. Like the quicker you can get to that one item as Silas, the quicker you can start to really 1v9 the game. And basically any kills that you get before that point is like a luxury. You know, it's like if you get them, it's
Yeah.
nice, but you're not really expecting it to happen. But like
Hmm.
here, being like this far behind, I would say you're just fucked. To be honest, like you're too far behind to really do much. Again, you're like relying on the enemy team throwing for you to really be able to like actually
Get
be
back in the
relevant.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's their game to lose,
yeah, exactly. And you
not
really
instead
don't
of
want
mine to
that
win.
for solo queue
Yeah.
because it's like I don't know. I mean, like to be honest, especially in low elo, people will throw. I mean, even in high elo, people throw all the time. But the thing is, like, you want to be the one in control, not them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and like with no points in queue, it makes it really hard to kill any of these waves. And also, again, like if you were gonna go some really greedy start, you probably should pick up a refillable at least at some point. Like I think lots of people go Roa Silas these days. Some people go
Yeah.
Everfrost still. I'd say like Roa is more common, but I still think Everfrost is
I like
fine.
Roa.
But like you will see, like if you think how much sustain someone has from like Catalyst, D Shield, Second Wind, compared to you with like Lost Chapter, no potion, no rune, like you just have
Yeah.
probably like half the health bar that other people do, and that's like that's insane. You're just yeah, you've just got no health compared to other people. And I really think this is like it's almost like a good problem to have because it's so easy to fix, right? Like you just oh my god, you're so
I
lucky.
got the level, I know.
That was funny.
So lucky.
Okay, oh, he's pretty low. You have flash in 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's. I walked at him and that it made him
Yeah.
like walk away from tower from his base, but nothing else. Oh my god, I was like I felt that so hard. I don't even know if I finished Scuttle there because I was like I don't even have the damage to kill Scuttle.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
in a
you're a bit
reasonable
weak.
time.
Oh, actually, another thing I'll add is that like generally, like first strike versus like strong ranged is normally bad
Mm.
because like what happens is that they just hit you before you can really hit them. Normally
Yeah.
you want to go like conk versus like these sorts of champs because you're just not really gonna
When
get first strikes off pretty much. Like I'm not sure at the end of the game. Oh, nice, you got the kill. I'm not sure how
yeah,
much gold you got from it, but I'm guessing it's not very much. And it's the same with
no,
ASOL.
I think
Like,
it was like 300.
yeah, okay, pretty useless then. Because
Like
like
not yeah.
it's definitely the same with ASOL. Like if I'm playing ASOL and I'm versing like I don't know, what would be the worst case? It'd be something like Azir, Caitlyn, Lux or something, like that as their
Mhm.
mid and bot lane. I would definitely go like either Spellbook or Comet or something, and then as Silas I'd go Conquer instead because it's just too hard. It
Yeah.
feels like you just don't have like a keystone for the majority of the game, which I mean that sucks, right?
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think here I would probably just base as soon as you get the Everfrost
Yep.
gold. Um,
I have.
yeah, because again, it's like you're kind of staying on the map, but it's like a bait because you can't actually pressure. And also, like you're bleeding
Okay.
a ton of CS. It's not like you're staying and as a result, you're like farming up a storm. It's like you're missing most of these waves
Just
anyway
losing really
because you're
hard.
just too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like again, like if you're here like full HP Everfrost, you probably okay, they're gonna kill him anyway.
Yeah. I don't remember if they actually kill him or not, but I do get out.
Yeah, nice, they got him.
Okay, they did.
Yeah, so this is like right now though, you're just 100% reliant on your team to bail you out, and that
Mhm.
feels just so bad. I think like again, like if you hit this point right here of like, you're hitting your first item at say like 12 minutes, you're like 100 or like even 000, you've got 100 CS at least. Like the game's looking pretty good, especially because like one thing that I think people forget about is like when you die, right? It's like you miss
Mhm.
golden XP, you're giving more golden XP to them. It sets you back like on any spike for the rest of the game. Like a lot of time, just by not dying, you're actually like almost winning the game for your team because you're just like not giving them over gold, right? And now it's like important that you don't become like a KDA player because like you have to do something, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, dying is like really, really bad. I'm actually not sure what like the win rate is like when you die, but I would assume that like each time you die, it drops your win rate by a huge number. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, a lot of damage. Nice Everfrost. Yeah, like I think the combos and
There's like
stuff here
so
is
here.
really good.
Oh, so it's like so here before the fight, I also did check their items, and I was like, oh, cool. All of, like including their jungler, they're all like behind or yeah, a little bit behind me.
Yeah,
And so I felt really confident in taking that fight, especially because GP wasn't there.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like really good. I actually like really like how you combo this as well. And again, this is like sort of weird to me because it's like you're doing the hard parts well. It's just like you're at such a huge disadvantage that it's like not really mattering a whole lot.
Mhm.
I mean, this game is like sort of recovered a little. It's still, I think, very hard for you to actually CS because you are just like this far behind. Now, I think itemization wise, I'm pretty sure you should go Zhonya's second this game. So
Mhm.
let's see, what was their comp? It's Kale, Sona, GP. The jungler
Uh,
was Volley. Yeah, so like
volley.
I
Yep.
think there's like enough. It's like first off, Zhonya's second is normally better than Cosmic. Like the reality is Cosmic is better if it's like, very little armor and stuff, but like Zhonya's,
Mhm.
the active's amazing. The armor is really
It is.
nice against
Yeah.
like heavy AD teams like this. So I'd probably just go the Zhonya's, and like something you kind of see actually
Okay.
pretty often on Silas is like people will often go like say Zhonya's and then Cosmic, or like they might go Zonies and Rabadons if they have enough AP from like Dark Seal or something.
Yeah.
And actually, that's another thing is like we haven't picked up a Dark Seal, which was kind of hard
No.
because
Which like right there, I could have picked up Darksteel instead of Ruby Crystal, which probably would have
yeah,
been better
probably, but it also is like pretty
itemization.
late. Like I'd probably still buy one,
Yeah.
but you normally you want a Dark Seal earlier in the game, but the problem is you never have gold for Dark Seal because you just don't have any gold, so it just
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. But like yeah, normally Dark Seal is like probably the
No,
most efficient
and
AP
yeah, and
item.
Darksteel this game I would have gotten 8 stacks from the two
Yeah,
kills and 4 assists after I died twice.
yeah, 100%. Definitely, it would like just provide you with so much more. Okay, so now you're like, okay, so this is like kind of a maybe a little interesting thing. So, in general, when you're playing, let's just get rid of this early game thing. When you're playing, any kind of like champ that like roams a lot, right? Normally, you want to try like most of the time try roam to the side, like your jungler is on, because that means like one, if you run into their jungler, like your jungler's there too, and also it just means that like any kind of play you make, like if you get kills, your jungler can like take camps in their jungle after, or take like herald or drag or whatever. So like here, you walking to bot river when Rammus is top river, it looks really
And
strange to me. It's
weird.
like
And also Rift Herald's up too.
yeah, exactly. It's just like
Very good.
yeah, you kind of can't help Rammus with anything, and
Mhm.
yeah, you're just like not really on the same page at all. And then I think like going for a play like this, it's like more understandable, but at the same time, again, unless you're like guaranteed to get a kill pretty much, you pretty much always need to push mid or mid. Push. Wait, what am I writing? Push mid and then move, because like if you just give up like random waves like this, like you know, you're like roaming when Gangplank's pushing this giant wave into your tower, you just fall
Mhm.
so far behind over time that it's like not really worth it. And also, the reason Gangplank is so easily able to roam bot here is because you don't contest this mid wave at all, right? Like Gangplank just pushes and then he just like walks bot. And sure, like you can argue that your bot lane shouldn't die to this, and you're probably right, but at the same time, like it's solo
Because it was
queue.
all on
So
vision, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like if
It's like,
you allow your opponent to roam, I almost expect my bot lane to die to it, you know?
yeah,
Okay, so we got Cosmic. I mean, we're getting pretty strong. Oh my god, 3 crit cloak GP.
yeah.
Yeah, and the annoying thing about falling behind on Silas, especially, is like it becomes so hard to actually CS. Like it just takes you so long to kill the waves. You can't really like kill any jungle camps. Okay, you have like no one nearby.
The Garen's coming.
Okay.
Oh, I think I hit the slow on him, but the corner of it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
maybe. I'm not
maybe
sure.
not.
Can't tell if he just like walked back in
So
or not. Okay, I mean this is still fine. Like you're getting CS, got the Cosmic. No one's mid, so you can farm it.
it's like, yeah, with both videos, both the times the ADC was just like, I'm not going mid, I'm going bot. Still the whole game.
Yeah, I mean
Oh,
that's all
and then
good for
I
you.
jump back in and still Sonya's
Yes,
all
yeah.
for the dragon,
Yeah, that looks good. Now I think, yeah, actually, this dragon looks.
which I used really early as an engage instead of.
Yeah, I would be like a little careful with this. So another thing that's like real important, especially in the mid game, is to try and like track your teammates, because like right here, like their entire team is up, but you don't really see them. And this is a 3v5. Like Rammus is in base, and so is like Garen's pushing top. So like here, you're kind of just banking on the fact that they don't have people here, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, it turns out
And
they
they
do have
did.
people here, right? Yeah. So this one in my mind is like really obvious because yeah, it's like you have two people in base. It's just really not a fight. And I think that's another thing that's like really important about solo queue, because like maybe Rammus should be here, but the reality is he's not. And people in solo queue they don't do the right things anyway. So like you always have to kind of adapt to what they're doing. And like here, you guys
Yeah,
just like walk in and what, two of you die for like no reason at all,
GP,
pretty
yeah.
much, which is just
And don't get dragon.
yeah, it feels really. Did she just 1v2?
Yes.
Oof.
Yes, she did.
I think you could probably kill this Kale as long if you just like
Yeah,
E
she doesn't have
flash
ult.
Everfrost, like,
Yeah,
or even just Everfrost now, you might be able to reach her.
I think. Everfrost, the greatest escape tool.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay,
And
so
then I was just like, oh, he's overextended. The Kale's really far behind him. I was trying to ult myself because of the damage.
yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, it just you just feel
GP.
so weak, right? Like I think
Yeah.
you could maybe like if you want to mechanics max it, if you KO out yourself and then like flash with it, like onto KO. But honestly, you don't even kill her. You're just too far.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't
I was
know.
thinking of finishing the volley bear off.
Yeah, you're just so fucking weak. It's just impossible. Like you it's
Yeah.
25 minutes and you have 174 AP and like 100 CS. It's just like no matter what champ you are at this point, you're just not gonna
Really
do
behind.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fight is like probably as good a fight as you're gonna get, but it still looks pretty unwinnable. Yeah, okay. Another game is over. So I'd say again, like from this game, so we talked about what to work on from the first one, but from this one, I think like really just trying to come out of the early game with like more CS slash like being less behind because it feels like you just put yourself at a deficit every game and just like
Hmm.
taking whatever you need to make that happen, right? Like let's say you want to try be really greedy, but if you find okay, like maybe I can still be greedy in this matchup, but I can't be as greedy as that. Like it's fine to kind of work your way back in a way, right? Like, okay, this game we
Yeah.
started Amped Home, it was too much. Maybe next time we start Dark Seal, I can tell you in this matchup specifically, you need Dawn Shield, but like, let's say you're just trying to work out the
Yeah.
matchup for yourself. It's like, okay, maybe next time Dark Seal refillable might be enough. Okay, maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe I need Second Wind as well. Just like trying to figure out what exactly do you need because I think your benchmark is to like try hit like first item around like 11 to 12 minutes, have like at least 100 plus CS and zero deaths, and that puts you just like in a really nice spot to kind of have a solid mid game from that point, especially with the champs you're playing like Silas and Asol. Again, Aurelia is different, but Silas, Asol,
Yeah.
your lane is mostly about setting up your mid game in a way, right? It's like you're not really
Hmm.
expecting to do a whole lot early game, but you're just like you're trying to hit that mid game spike, and then that's when you really like take over the game. But the problem is, before that, it just starts so
Putting yourself behind further.
yeah, it just starts so fucked that you kind of just like can't really do anything. And also, I think just like in general, a little bit of like rune slash itemization, kind of like across the board. Like the starting
Hmm.
items, maybe you shouldn't take first strike this game. Like I think having Dark Seal on both games is like really good. Or if you didn't start refillable, like buying that at some point. Just like that sort of stuff, all kind of things to think about. But I think yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, there is a fair amount here to work on. But do you have any? I'll copy this to you. Do you have any questions about any of this?
No. I was like, yeah, that was one of the things that had been feeling too, is like my laning, especially against people who are like a higher elo than me. Like when I'm playing with my friends, my laning phase is like really, really hard.
Mm,
And then like when it gets to the mid or later, as long as I'm not like, even if I am like 0-8, I like start to come back and like help my team out.
yeah,
But like getting through that early part, especially when the people are way better than me, I'm like, but as kind of like you pointed out, it maybe isn't even just that they're way better than me, it's that I start with like the worst item
yeah,
setup
100%. And like I
and
can
wrong
I can
runes.
see like why you would end up being able to come back because like from what I can see mostly, like I think your team fighting, like it could be better, but I think your team fighting is mostly fine. And but the problem is like yeah, again, you just start so far behind that you have to be like a god at team fighting to do anything. Like I think if you
Yeah.
take let's say if we're at like what is it? Where was that fight you took here? If we like where was it? Okay, let's just say at like this point in the game, like I was in control of your Silas, right? Like I just log onto your account and I'm the one playing. I'm not sure if I
Hmm.
can win this game. Like being a challenger player, right? But obviously, a challenger player is not gonna be this far behind. But once
Yeah.
you're actually in this spot, like yeah, I feel like KO can almost just like point and click you to death, and like I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe you can hope for them to make some sort of like big throw, but like yeah, the reality is you're just so fucked at this point. So yeah, I don't know. I actually
Yeah.
think like your problems are not too bad. Like they can be fixed reasonably easy. And I think like um I can't remember if you have like a training plan or just like a single
Yeah,
session.
I did
Yeah,
the
okay.
month thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So I think definitely next time we'll probably have like more actual, I don't know what the word is, maybe like more conceptual stuff to work on. Because I definitely think
Hmm.
this one is like, I mean, it's like you said, right? Like kind of laying the foundations and like, just like finding out what the big problems are. Because like all of this is kind of keeping us from really like looking at stuff like, okay, how are you actually playing the laning phase? Because at the moment
Yeah.
it just doesn't matter, basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay. So I'll upload the session and I can send it to you. Yeah, and if you have other questions, just like message me on Discord or whatever. And also, if you did want me to upload this ASOL versus Kassadin matchup, I'm happy to do
Yeah.
that for you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would like that a lot.
All right, sweet.
As yeah, especially with new ASOL, like yeah, always new ASOL stuff is
All right. Awesome. Yeah, okay, I'll go and upload those probably a bit later. If I forget, just message me, but I'll probably remember.
Yeah, well,
All right, sweet. I think, yeah, we're done.
that's good.
All
I,
right. Well, I'll see you,
I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah,
next time,
so is
maybe.
I don't. Yeah, I guess I'll figure out how to schedule the next thing.
Yeah, so I think you just, I'm pretty sure you like, well, I'm not totally sure how you do it. I know like you can just schedule, the session for whenever, basically. And I think you just go to the whatever the like training plan thing is, and it should let you pick your next session. Although it might not let you until this one is completed. I'm actually not sure how it works.
Yeah, yeah, it pops up with a training plan. Keep the streak going. You've completed lesson 1 in your training plan. Great
Okay,
job. Don't
easy.
forget to book your next lesson now.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's taking care of you.
Wait, no, no, now it just says, oh, in progress?
Oh yeah, maybe you
Yeah.
gotta wait a couple minutes.
Okay, there we go. Yep, I figured it out.
All right. Sweet.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.